Hello, vinyl community. It's Brian here. I hope you had an excellent Super Bowl weekend if you watched the Super Bowl, which we did. In keeping with my personal and rather tragic history of procrastination, I am only now getting to the contest entry for Mike at MGK Boston. I think I'm just under the wire, and I think the deadline is tomorrow, so it took me a while, but finally I am going to do this. This is for Mike's rather audacious push to 1 million subscribers. That's a pretty interesting goal. I mean, why go for something like 1,000 or 2,000 when you can go straight for 1 million? I think that's a rather interesting idea. Will he get there? Who knows? So I think you all know the deal by now. I believe there's a gift card. The bonus is, though, if you live within an hour's drive of Mike's headquarters in the Boston area, he will hand deliver a cheesecake that will be made by his wife Patty, which I think is a really interesting idea. I have seen Anthony eat the cake. I have seen Rob at Northern Revolutions eat this cake. So I will say as an aside that it's just as well that I don't live within an hour's drive of Boston, because I can't eat the cake anyway. But that's really a story for another day. So, I should say, I tried to get Cecile interested in this video and it just didn't work out timing wise. So let me talk about the idea of the contest first. It is to show three great songs you'd like to hear at a wedding and say why. Now, I mentioned I couldn't get Cecile involved. It just didn't work out. But I guess the silver lining there is that I couldn't have shown any of the albums that she would, or any of the songs she would have chosen anyway, because I don't have any Whitney Houston records. I don't have any Air Supply records, so it really wouldn't have worked out. So that's just as well. I was also thinking about the last wedding I went to, and I'm having a hard time remembering that. It seems to me that when I finished my undergrad, all I did was go to weddings. Like every few months there'd be a wedding. And hilariously, sometimes this was the last time I ever saw these people. It's like, oh, great wedding, see you later, and never saw them again. And in some cases, these people now have children or are divorced, so it's this weird sort of life process is going on. So in watching some other videos, I noticed that some people talked about songs they had at their weddings. And here's a little piece of trivia. We're not married, so we didn't have a wedding, but that's also a story for another day. And then some people talked about songs they wouldn't want at a wedding or it seemed inappropriate, which made me laugh. Rob at Northern Revolutions talked about 3 songs. I can only remember 2. One was songs he wouldn't want at his wedding were things like Cotton Eye Joe. I totally agree with that. Macarena. I mean, I've been to weddings where they played the bunny hop and people were actually hopping around the venue, which I thought was outrageous. Why would anybody do that? So, so I can't talk about songs that were played at our wedding because there wasn't one. And, I'll just get on with the 3 songs. And I chose 3 songs that occurred to me fairly early on in thinking about this. And the first one that occurred to me, and I only have a CD for this, is from a band called Bright Eyes. This is from 2005. It's called I'm Wide Awake, It's Morning. You might know this band. I think they're from Omaha. This came out in 2005. And I was thinking of the song First Day of My Life, which appears on the back here. And, when I thought about that song, I had to listen to it because I didn't know if you could dance to it, but I guess you can. It's a very slow, I guess a romantic kind of song, maybe appropriate for a first dance. And when I looked it up, I realized that this is some sort of wedding classic that a lot of people use it. I had no idea. But the lyrics are actually quite good. It's sort of this metaphor for him being sort of awoken or by seeing this person. He meets this person and the experience is so overpowering that he feels like he's seeing for the first time. Actually, it's a really good song. You'll probably never be able to see that, but in a quiet, mellow, introspective, romantic kind of way. And I think that would work as possibly as a first song. And the other 2 songs I picked more upbeat ones. And I suppose that if you were getting married today, a younger person would choose different songs. But being my vintage, I was thinking of songs that maybe I heard at weddings, as I say, many, many years ago. So I picked 2 rather upbeat songs that I probably have heard at weddings, but I'm not 100% sure. So the first one I chose is a track from Love and Rockets. This is from 1989. This is their 4th record. Yeah, I think it's 4th after 7th Dream of Teenage Heaven, Express, Earth, Sun, Moon. Then we have the self-titled one. And on here, of course, is a track called So Alive, which I think is a great song to dance to. And it's, again, the lyrics are kind of interesting. You know, he sings, "I don't know what color your eyes are, but your hair is long and brown." And apparently Daniel Ash wrote that after having seen a woman from across the room. He wasn't close enough to see her eye color, but he was captivated by her. And he was also married, so he didn't actually go up to her, but I think that would be a fantastic song. And I think I have heard that at a wedding, so that would be good. And the other track I chose was from, I think this is 1982, and it's one of my favorite songs from the 80s. I'm sort of, you can tell I'm thinking back, reminiscing about the old days, but from this record, The Psychedelic Furs Forever Now, there's a track on here called "Love My Way," which I think is one of the premier songs of the 80s. It would be in my possibly my top 5 songs from the 80s. "Love My Way" on second track on side 1. Now apparently he wrote that for his words. He wrote it for gay people because it's a, I don't know the whole story, but that's all I've read. It's in the Wikipedia entry, but it's a really cool song. I love the sound of it, and I think it's an excellent song to hear at a wedding. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Good luck to everyone who entered that contest. Maybe someone else will get the cheesecake, and I'll talk to you in the next one.